Hi everyone, it's a beautiful crisp autumn day today. Got a bit of water in the ditches. You're going to have to forgive me for sniffing through this one because I have not been well for about 2 weeks. I've had a cold that is just like never ended, so I'm still quite bunged up and sniffy and snotty, so I do apologise. But it's a nice day to get out filming, and I'd like to show you some of the new birds that I got last month. I'm sure if you saw my little photo montage you will have noticed a few new faces, so we'll head off and meet them. Last month I went to a local agricultural show because I wanted to get some more birds. In particular, I really wanted another little Peking cockerel, and I was lucky enough to get this chap who is rather beautiful, and his little lady here. I think this is Mr. Flump the Third. He is gorgeous and quite a hit with my existing little tribe of flumps. Because it's winter, they like to come into the greenhouse. This is like their conservatory. They spend quite a lot of time in here, and it's sort of nice shelter from the weather. It gets actually quite warm, and so they enjoy just a bit of sunbathing really. But you know, he's fitted in really well. His little girlfriend, she's quite young, so the others have put her in a place a little bit, but she seems happy enough now. They've settled down quite a bit. I also really wanted a couple of new Brahmas as well to go with Banjo, so I was lucky enough. I picked up 2 silver penciled Brahma hens, and they're young pullets, and that's a colourway of Brahma that I've not had before, but they're ever so pretty. I got that lady and her sister, and they seem to be fitting in quite well with the other birds. It's always a little bit difficult when you introduce new birds because you know, there's an established pecking order and they have to sort of find their way in it. But Brahmas are very, very quiet, docile birds, so there isn't really sort of too much issue with them. A Banjo here with his ladies. He's very, very quiet. He's very easy on his hens, so you know, I don't really have any worries. You're a good boy, aren't you? And when I went to pick my birds up at the end of the show, we paid for them. I was waiting for some boxes, and I spotted this lady on her own. She hadn't been sold, and well, obviously I'm quite a soft touch, and I was very taken by her hairdo, so I thought, well, perhaps she'd like to come home with me. So I bought her. I call her Mrs. Pom-Pom Duck on account of her pom-poms, rather fetching. Look, shush up you, shush. I don't know what it is about cool ducks at this time of year, but they've always got quite a lot to say for themselves. Obviously, as you can see, she's fitted in really, really well with the other birds. Old Dibley here, he's quite taken with her. It's perked him up no end. He's got a new young lady now, but she's rather lovely. She makes me smile. She's very, very chatty. You're a pretty girl. Oh, hello. What are you doing up there? Stop looking up at that hedge. He's obviously coming over to raid the Flumps' food. because they can never stay where they're supposed to be, those two. We're on winter feeds now, so that means half my day is spent chopping up carrots, because the sheep like theirs bite size and Star has hers in strips. So I do a lunchtime carrot run down to the sheep, because Parsley the lamb is quite greedy and he gets a bit windy if he has too much food all at once, so I have to try and space it out for him, and I think they appreciate their day being broken up a bit as well. Everybody's happy, having a bit of carrot. The sheep seem to enjoy that. Merv, get down. Get down, good boy. They're like little woolly hoovers. Star's having hers as well. You've ate it all. There is no more, missus. Not until tea time. Star has carrots 3 times a day, and the sheep have one lot. Hello, Willow. Merv, you're stuck under my coat. Madam here, she really loves her carrots. I got this sneaking suspicion she actually goes along, because she can't eat them all at once, she goes along and licks them so that other sheep don't get them. And Alphonse does enjoy some carrots as well. The only problem is that Bobble always tries to keep them all for himself. You're quite naughty, aren't you? No, missus, you're not having anything else, because you are getting terribly, terribly spoiled and hand-fed all the time, and now you're starting to eat my pockets. I'm really quite amazed with her, because she was virtually wild when she came to me, because she was a fell sheep. She hadn't had a... Parsley, get down! She hadn't had a lot of, handling, barring sort of, being brought down off the fell for lambing, shearing, sort of normal sort of sheep things. And she was really sort of not interested in people at all when she came, but she's as tame as anything now. Will you get out of my pocket, you two? You are like partners in crime. Get out of it. It's because I've got treats in my pocket. I'm just like a sort of mobile sheep and goat vending machine. Merv, get down. Good boy. Started well. They're making me look really, really well behaved, so I'm really quite happy. I'm sort of having a few cardigan calamities lately. I set myself the goal of making myself some thick winter cardigans, because I really don't like what's in the shops at the moment. But since I hurt my arm, my knitting gauge has got really loose, so being me, I think, oh well, I can alter the pattern and sort of generally, well, I can do it, but I managed to get the maths wrong quite epically in some places. This one's finished, it just needs to be blocked and have the buttons on. It's a Serdar pattern, and it's not turned out too bad. It's probably slightly on the small side, and because I forgot that I wasn't knitting to gauge, the collar's turned out really flipping big. It's gone a bit Harry Hill, the collar. So, but I'll wear it. It's thick and it'll keep me warm. And this one is called Star Ski, and it's my first go at doing a cable pattern. Unfortunately, I managed to get the maths wrong on the back and had to knit the back twice, and the back has got 3 repeats of the cable, so I'm quite good at cabling now. I suppose I'd have to look at on the positive side. This one's turned out a bit, you know, I'm more happy with it. All I need to do is knit the belt loops on. That's why I've got the safety pin, because that just marks where I need to do that. And then that needs to be washed and blocked, and that's done. Downstairs I've got 2 cardigans on the go, which I'd like to finish by Christmas, because they're both sort of nice warm ones. Hopefully I haven't, well, touch wood, I haven't made a mistake on those ones yet, although one I'm not totally sure how the size is going to turn out, but I'm sure I've managed to do something with it. Just had a parcel arrived. I'm a bit like a child, you know, all the exciting post has to be opened, anything sort of nasty and official looking gets tossed to one side. I got a bit of a bargain on eBay last week, just by chance I happened to see it as the auction was ending. I got 500 grams of Shetland comb top. I've tried sort of a few different breeds of sheep, and Shetland has been my favourite that I've spun so far. And I also got 300 grams of Gotland, I think is how you pronounce it, which people seem to say is, you know, really nice fleece. So hopefully I can get back and do some spinning. I've got a project just to finish on the wheel. My basic problem a lot of the time is I've got 900 projects on the go and not enough time to do them all, but you know, it's quite nice to sit and do a bit of spinning in the winter, and hopefully there should be enough for, well, that 300 grams really is enough for a shawl at least. 500 grams, well, that's a sweater quantity, but I can't see myself sort of being up to the challenge of doing a whole sweater's worth of consistent spinning at the moment, but you know, we'll see. As my great aunt always used to say, I ain't gonna eat or drink anything, so it'll be there until I need it. Art-wise, I've just been really busy lately. I've sort of been struck again by inspiration. I've been interested in taking my work in a bit of a different direction. I think designing the tattoos has sort of pushed me to go in a slightly different direction. This piece I've recently finished, this is inspired by Edgar Allan Poe's poem, The Raven. Really love Poe's work. And it didn't turn out at all how I thought it would, but I always just kind of let the thing flow. He's quite a characterful raven. This is coloured pencil and ink on paper, and it was quite enjoyable to do, although coloured pencil does take a long time to do because you have to sort of layer it up to get the intensity of colour. I've painted a canvas as well, which I can't show you because that's top secret, and so I've just sort of been getting in snatches of time, because this time of year where the days are so short, a lot of my day is taken up with animal stuff, and I tend not to work as much on art in the evening, even though I've got really good lights in here. Certain pieces, you know, you get so much glare off them, it makes it really hard to sort of do it as well as I'd like. So I try to get sort of snatches during the day when I get bits of time and come out and work on bits and pieces. I've also been painting this little frog. This is going to be a Christmas present for somebody. I know he doesn't have the internet, so there's no danger of it being seen. This is acrylic gouache on some MDF, because I like to give somebody a piece that they can just hang up rather than the cost of framing, because I know how much framing is. I have to say, I got a new appreciation for frogs after painting this. I never realised they were so sort of intricately textured, and I always feel like I never really know a subject until I've painted it, because it makes you really look hard at it. although I have to say these days I'm tending to go less towards realism, the character of, you know, if I'm painting a living thing, the character of it is much more important to me. There's a little bit more to do on him, but he's turning out, I like to make them smile, my animals. I like them to look happy. I've also felt really inspired to pick up my polymer clay again, because I don't feel that that's a medium that I've explored properly, and I think sculpting helps you a lot with your drawing, because I'm going a lot more to drawing from my head. Actually sculpting things, you know, sort of cements the sort of 3D form in your head, so it does help a lot with the other forms of art. I'm kind of inspired by kind of woodlands, secret woodlands, enchanted things. So I'm sort of working on a few little pieces. I have no idea at all what I'm going to do with these when they're finished. I just felt like making them, and that's kind of how I do things now. I work on what I feel inspired to at the time.